The old toy store stood alone on Blackwood Lane, a dilapidated relic of a bygone era. Its chipped paint peeled like scabs, windows like vacant eyes. Locals whispered of the Mimic's game, a chilling tale associated with the store. It was said to swallow those brave enough to enter its depths. Tonight, the legend would be tested. A group of teenagers stood across the street. Drawn by the thrill of the unknown, they were about to become part of its sinister narrative. The leader, Jake, a brash young man with something to prove, grinned at his friends. The air hung heavy with anticipation, a silent promise of the terror to come. "$5 if you spend the night in there," Jake challenged, his voice barely a whisper. His eyes sparkled with a dangerous glint. He tossed a crumpled bill onto the cracked sidewalk. He knew the legend of the Mimic's game, as did the others. They had all heard the whispers, the stories. But tonight, fear was a fickle friend, easily forgotten in the face of bravado. The others shifted uneasily. Sarah, known for her quick wit, bit her lip. Even she, the fearless one, felt a shiver crawl down her spine. The abandoned toy store seemed to pulsate with a life of its own, a menacing silhouette against the dying light. The rusty padlock surrendered with a groan. A wave of stale air washed over them, thick with dust and the silence of forgotten things. Jake smirked. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine, her instincts screaming at her to turn back. But the group's nervous laughter drowned out her better judgment. The heavy door creaked open, an invitation into the darkness within. The air inside was stagnant, heavy with the smell of decay and something faintly sweet like rotting candy. Broken music boxes lay scattered on the floor, their once cheerful tunes now distorted and eerie. A lone rocking horse swayed gently in the gloom, its vacant eyes seeming to follow their every move. They ventured deeper into the store, their flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness, revealing only glimpses of the eerie surroundings. Cobwebs clung to them like ghostly fingers, wrapping around their limbs and faces, making every movement feel like a struggle against unseen forces. Each step was a descent into a nightmare nursery, filled with forgotten relics of childhood. Dusty and broken toys lay scattered, remnants of happier times now twisted into something sinister. They stumbled upon a room hidden in the back, its door barely hanging on its hinges, creaking ominously as they pushed it open. A shiver raced down Sarah's spine, a primal fear gripping her heart. She could feel the weight of countless eyes watching her, though she saw no one. This was wrong. This was dangerous. Every instinct screamed at them to leave, but curiosity and fear held them in place. The room was dimly lit by a single flickering bulb, casting grotesque shadows on the walls. The light seemed to dance, creating monstrous shapes that loomed over them. Rows upon rows of antique dolls stared at them with lifeless eyes, their painted smiles cold and menacing. Each doll seemed to hold a story, a secret, a curse. A chill wind seemed to emanate from the room, whispering their names, sending shivers down their spines. It was as if the very air was alive, filled with malevolent intent. Or was it just their imaginations? The line between reality and nightmare blurred, leaving them questioning every sound, every shadow. Section 5. Something isn't right. The temperature plummeted, sending a collective shiver down their spines. The air grew thick with anticipation, or was it dread? The silence was shattered by a soft, eerie giggle. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. The hair on the back of their necks stood on end. "Who's there?" Jake's voice cracked, betraying his bravado. The only response was the slow, eerie creak of the rocking horse outside the room. It was as if the toys themselves were watching, their painted smiles taking on a sinister quality in the flickering light. Section 6. Their eyes are watching. Suddenly the lights went out, plunging them into absolute darkness. Panicked shouts filled the air, swallowed by the oppressive silence that followed. A cold dread seeped into their bones, the feeling of being watched intensifying. The sweet, cloying scent returned, stronger now. It tickled their nostrils, bringing with it a wave of nausea. "Guys, this isn't funny anymore." Sarah's voice trembled, a low growl echoed around them. It was close, too close. Their blood ran cold. This was no game. This was something far more sinister, and they were trapped in its web. Section 7. No escape. The flashlights flickered erratically, casting grotesque shadows that danced on the walls. Then a blood-curdling scream. Sarah. They rushed towards the sound of her voice, their hearts pounding in their chests. Their frantic cries were met with an eerie silence, broken only by the soft padding of footsteps. But these were not human footsteps. They were too heavy, too deliberate. They ran, stumbling through the labyrinthine aisles. Toys lay scattered on the floor, obstacles in their desperate escape. The air was thick with fear, the silence punctuated by their ragged breaths. They had to get out, now. Section. The final frame. The conclusion to a tale that has haunted many. Days later, a video surfaced online, spreading like wildfire across various platforms. Grainy footage captured on a forgotten phone emerged from the shadows. It showed Jake and his friends, their faces contorted in terror, eyes wide with fear. They were surrounded, their flashlight beams reflecting off dozens of gleaming eyes, each pair more menacing than the last. The footage cut off abruptly, the screen filled with static, leaving viewers in suspense. All except for a single frame, a haunting image frozen in time. A horrifying still image that sent chills down the spines of all who saw it, a moment of pure dread. The image showed a grinning porcelain doll, its eyes glowing an unnatural red, almost as if it were alive. In its hand a shard of glass glinted under the dim light, smeared with something that could only be blood, a sinister warning. The video, uploaded anonymously, went viral, capturing the attention of millions. The legend of the Mimic's game was no longer just a local ghost story, it was a warning, a tale that transcended boundaries, a chilling reminder that some games are not meant to be played, a cautionary tale for the digital age. Section 9. A viral curse. The Mimics game became a morbid fascination. The videos sparked countless forums, each post dissecting the footage frame by frame. The abandoned toy store, once a forgotten relic, became a macabre pilgrimage site for those seeking to debunk the legend, or worse, to tempt fate themselves. But the toy store remained silent, holding its secrets close. A chilling thought settled in the minds of those who watched the video. It wasn't just a video. It felt like a virus, spreading its tendrils through the internet, infecting everyone who came across it. The line between reality and the supernatural blurred, leaving an unsettling feeling of unease in its wake. Section 10. The game continues. The abandoned toy store still stands on Blackwood Lane, a sinister monolith casting a long shadow over the town. Its presence is a constant reminder of the past, a relic of a time when laughter and joy filled its aisles. The toys within remain, forever frozen in time, waiting, watching, listening. Each one holds a story, a memory of a child who once cherished it. Now they sit in silence, their eyes following every movement, every whisper. Some say the Mimic's game is over, the curse satisfied. They believe the darkness has been appeased, that the malevolent force has moved on. Others whisper that it's merely biding its time, waiting for the next group of unsuspecting souls to cross its threshold. They speak of shadows that move on their own, of whispers that echo through the empty aisles. One thing remains certain: some games are better left unplayed. The risk is too great, The consequence is too dire. For the toys are always listening. Their eyes, though lifeless, seem to hold a spark of awareness, a hint of malevolence, and they are always watching. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the wind, they hear it all. The Mimic's game is a stark reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface. It is a tale of caution, a warning to those who dare to seek out the unknown, a testament to the power of fear and the terrifying allure of the unknown. The toys are waiting, they are patient, and they are relentless. Are you ready to play? The choice is yours, but remember, some doors once opened can never be closed.